Hey everyone, it's Misty. Welcome back to another card video. So I have two cards to share with you. Same card, just different color. I made these for the Simon Says Stamp Wednesday challenge. The theme this week is Christmas, and we are featuring products from Creative Expressions. So I decided to use this beautiful gold glittery polish. It's listed as a polish on Simon Says Stamp website. It's Golden Sand Kiss is the name of it, and I mean this color is just absolutely gorgeous. And I'm not sure if there's a difference between a polish and a paste. This was, like I said, it's listed as a polish, and it was really smooth. You've heard that saying that it goes on like butter. This really did go on like butter. It was really, the consistency was had a really nice consistency to it, so it went on really smooth. The pastes that I've used in the past, they're a little bit more solid. I don't know if that's the right words I'm looking for either, but it seemed like I had to mix it up, kind of work it around a little bit before I could put it on my paper. But this is very nice right out of the jar. It went on beautifully. And my favorite part of using pastes or polishes now, I can say, is taking the stencil off. It's just so pretty. It's like when you use masking paper, you take that masking paper off, and I don't know, there's just something about that first glimpse of it that I absolutely love. So I decided to go ahead and cut this down. I'm using a Simon Says Stamp stitch rectangle for that smaller size there, and I might put that frame aside and use it on a different card. But so this right here that I have in my hand, it is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. And then I'm also going to cut the background piece, the A2 size cardstock, using the largest of the Lawn Fawn stitched rectangles. So I just gave it a nice stitched border around it. So for this one, I wizened up a little bit and I cut it before I put the paste on. I almost didn't. I taped the whole thing down, then I realized that instead of wasting all that paste around the border, that, I might as well just cut it down first. The paste is a little pricey. That's why I only got one, because I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not. It's $9.99 for this jar. It's 50 milliliters, which is, I think it was 1.69 ounces, but it's definitely worth it. I mean, the colors are just absolutely, the color of this one is absolutely beautiful. And there was a couple other ones I really wanted, but I wanted to try it first because I just wasn't sure if I was going to like it, or if if I was going to use it more than once. But I will definitely, and I'm planning on adding a couple other colors to my new little collection as well. So I'm just making sure I'm getting all the little corners and sides there. I don't want to leave any piece uncovered. And I'm doing a really thin layer. And once again, here's my favorite part. And the stuff dries pretty quickly too. By the time I cleaned my stencil off and my work area here, it was pretty much dry. Might have been a little wet still, but now some of the paste, it was kind of it was sticking up or sticking out farther than I wanted it to. So I just took my little spatula here and just kind of patted it onto the side of my cardstock. So I'm using the Stained Glass Greetings stamp set, and I'm going to heat emboss the word peace. And I was trying to conserve my Schoolhouse Red cardstock here. I was going to stamp it in the middle of the cardstock and then use this as my background piece. Since it was going to have that top piece over, you wouldn't have seen that there was a word cut out of the center of it, but I kind of cooked it a little too long, so I ended up having to stamp it out again. So I'm using some gold embossing powder by Simon Says Stamp. And it might have been because I didn't put enough embossing powder on it. I don't know why I was being so delicate about it. I should have just poured it on. It's not like I'm wasting it. It's all going to go right back in the container afterwards, but I have no idea why I was being so chintzy about it. So I either didn't put on enough powder or I overheated it. And I just don't like the way it looks if you overheat it. There was just some areas that look like I don't know, it almost looked like it was missing the embossing powder, like I had left chunks out, but I don't even know if it's missing it or if it just makes it discolored. It just doesn't look as solid and smooth as I wanted it to. So I know it's hard to explain, but so I just stamped it again and heat set it. And by now I just figured I was going to throw the rest of it in my scrap pile and wasn't too concerned with keeping it in the center. So I used the matching die to cut the word out. And this is one of those stamp sets that, a lot of the times I won't purchase a die if it's something that I can cut out pretty easily. I don't mind fussy cutting, but this is one of those stamp sets that it was worth it to get the die. So I knew I wanted to keep this card pretty simple. I wanted the gold polish and the stencil and the sentiment to kind of, be the main focus. So I didn't put any other embellishments on it, but I did pop it up on some craft foam. And then I also popped the word peace up on some foam squares as well, just to give it a little extra interest, I guess. And I'm going to do the same thing for the second card. Now, I thought about putting a different sentiment on the second card, but I just really liked the way this one turned out. I love the sentiment, in a world where we need more of it. I thought might as well make two using the peace sentiment. And these are going to be Christmas cards that I'll send out. I didn't do a bunch of Christmas cards this year. I just figured the few that I make between, when I started making Christmas cards and Christmas, I'll just send it out to my closest friends and family. Usually I have a list of, I send them to everyone on my mailing list, but I don't know, I wanted it to be a little bit more intimate this year, and so they're not all the same cards like I've done in the past. I'll kind of do them for individual people and styles instead of just mass producing. So again, I'm just going to stamp this out on a piece of the navy cardstock by Simon Says Stamp. And this time I'm pouring the embossing powder on generously. So I have a quick question for you, if you're still with me here. I'm trying to find ways to show my 11-year-old that the magic of Christmas it's not just about Santa Claus and the elf on the shelf that comes and visits us every year. He doesn't believe in that anymore. He's in middle school now, so I have one kid that does, so I'm going to be careful what I say here, but the other boy that's living with us still believes. But my son, I'm trying to show him that the magic of Christmas doesn't just mean, the magic of, elves that fly around in the night and go to the North Pole and all that stuff. I just want to show him that there's more to it than just that. So like we took both boys to the Festival of Lights, and that's we have a botanical gardens that does this really great display of like objects that are decorated with Christmas lights. There's just so many different things. You kind of walk through the gardens and you see all these really cool displays. And, there's a tent, a covered area. It has live music and there's tables in there. We always get a cup of hot cocoa or hot cider and we walk around and look at all the lights. Oh, you can get a glass of wine and walk around too. It's a really, really fun event. So that was one way I wanted to kind of show them, there's more to Christmas. And then tonight or tomorrow night, we're going to drive around and look at all the Christmas lights around town. Again, I'll probably take a cup of hot chocolate and have my hubby drive around while we look at all the lights. So I'm just trying to find other ways to show him that there's, more, there is magic in Christmas. You have to see it. So we live in a small town. There's just not much else around here. We had a lighted truck parade with a bunch of companies will decorate their vehicles, and it's a parade at nighttime, so it's another fun tradition. That to me, I love stuff like that for Christmas. And tonight or tomorrow night we're gonna drive around and look at all the lights around town. So you know, I want to, again, make a cup of hot cocoa and have the hubby drive while we, you know, go around town and look at the lights, sipping our hot beverage. Just trying to think of other ways to show him the magic of Christmas. So if you guys have any other ideas on how I can show an 11-year-old boy, you know, kind of the magic of Christmas that isn't Santa Claus and elves, please let me know in the comments below. And we've decided to take them out of town to go Christmas shopping with us because I want them to help pick out gifts. So we figured we can split the boys up, you know, maybe one go with me, one go with my hubby, and just have them help pick little gifts out for each other. I thought that would be kind of fun too, where they actually have to put some thought into it. But anyway, I am out of time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this card that I made, or cards that I made for the Simon Says Stamp Wednesday challenge. All of the supplies that I used are listed and linked in the description below, and you can always head over to my blog for more information. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I hope you would consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. And while you're there, click on that little bell icon so that you won't miss any of my new videos. I usually post one new video a week. Alright, thanks again. Bye.